In the domain of science and legendary honor, experiences the subject of what existed before the huge explosion has lighted blended conversations and charmed personalities. For a surprisingly long time, the stupendous inquiry doesn't simply test how he could unwind the universe. It challenges the actual furthest reaches of human information and vision, remaining at the edge of presence, looking into the immense shadows and contemplating what lay there before our universe was considered the occasion of. The enormous detonation denoted the start of history space, and all that we know was there a second prior might there at any point have been a condition of nothingness AC quiet before the fantastic scene started. And assuming this is the case, what was it? Or maybe was there something much seriously disrupting that existed before time itself? As we dig further into this request, science takes us on an excursion past the universe's beginning stage into investigations that challenge our comprehension. Physicist Brian Cox, known for his commitments to the miracles of the universe, proposes that something exceptional could have existed before the grandiose blast. He encourages us to re-examine our impression of the real world and presence. In this conversation, we'll analyze the signs, reasoning, and shocking bits of knowledge that could end up being useful to us comprehend what existed before everything. Investigate ideas like everlasting expansion, quantum vacillations due energy, and even multiverses. The responses we uncover may dumbfound you, yet they could likewise open new understandings of our spot in the universe. Plan to jump profound into a domain past creative mind, where science wrestles with the obscure, leaving specialist odd, and some of the time even disrupted. We should look at what existed before the enormous detonation, and why these hypotheses challenge all that we assumed. We realize what was a huge explosion. To comprehend what could have existed before the huge explosion, we first need to inspect what the super terrifying genuinely was. A huge explosion, as researchers portrayed, alludes of the second when the universe turned out to be unbelievably hot and thick, growing quickly to make way for the development of all matter, energy, and central powers. When we take a gander at the night sky, we see proof of this hot star with systems fanning out from a solitary point. Yet for what reason did this occur, and was there a period before this thick hot beginning? As per the hypothesis of vast expansion, there was, to be sure, a prect, and it was a long way from unfilled or serene. Inestimable expansion recommends that before the huge explosion, the universe was in an express that was cold, unfilled, and free, basically like a gigantic vacuum. At this point, this vacuum wasn't completely unfilled. It contained a colossal measure of energy that controlled the fast extension of room itself. This development, called expansion, occurred so rapidly that it essentially laid the basis for all that continued. In a negligible portion of a subsequent space extended at staggering rates until the development eased back and the energy changed into issue particles and the powers we perceive as an enormous detonation. Yet what was the idea of this energy? For what reason did it unexpectedly make the universe? And for what reason did it stop researchers except at this enormous expansion made patches of the universe, each encountering its own enormous detonation? Envision a texture extending unendingly with little air pockets framing to a great extent each air pocket addressing the universe, including our own. This thought, called the inflationary multiverse, recommends that there are possibly limitless large bangs in countless universes. Our own is only one of numerous. This monstrous brain-bowing reality challenges how we see the universe and leaves us with an inquiry: what else is out there? The idea of nothingness. The idea of nothingness before the huge explosion is speculative, not conclusive. Regardless of whether you strip away all energy particles and radiation from the universe, it would in any case not be really vacant. Our universe is loaded up with dim matter, dim energy, quantum fields, and different powers that make a certain embroidery of something even in its most empty structure. Regardless of whether we envision stripping away these powers, leaving a dead space, the universe would in any case produce new types of energy. This reality alone confounds researchers, as it recommends that genuine nothingness may be unfathomable inside our comprehension space itself, as properties to sides and constants that keep it from being completely unfilled. For example, there's an idea called point energy, which addresses the least energy condition of quantum fields in the state particles, can in any case momentarily show up and vanish, making a weak reverberation of movement. Even in what ought to be unfilled space, the difficulties are thought of Genuine void and recommends that, yes, even before the enormous detonation, something existed, something that researchers are as yet investigating, everlasting expansion, and the multiverse perhaps of the most entrancing hypothesis in present-day cosmology is the possibility of everlasting expansion on the off chance that expansion could make our universe, it's conceivable it could prode everlastingly. Brian Cox depicts an impossibly tremendous inflationary multiverse where universes are continually made and keep growing. Envision each huge explosion as a flash lighting one more universe, while expansion happens in different locales, making incalculable different universes. This cycle could on a fundamental level continue everlastingly. This thought of tremendous universes bringing forth others prompts a convincing idea of a fractal universe, where each new universe might actually produce its own huge explosion. Every universe exists as a different independent space unaffected by the others. Because of the fast development of room for researchers as hypothesis is as both exciting and agitating as it recommends a boundless multiverse with no conclusive start or end. Envision our universe being only a minuscule bit in a tremendous limitless construction, continually developing and making new universes. Consider the possibility that the upsetting truth is that there is no previously or later, but instead a timeless pattern of universes shaping and rotting quantum fields and virtual particles. How we might interpret nothingness changes when we consider quantum field hypothesis. As per this hypothesis, the universe isn't an assortment of issue drifting in space. Rather, it is a complicated organization of energy handles that penetrate the universe, connecting to make all that we notice. These fields resemble undetectable seas or particles going about as waves or unsettling influences in any event. When fields are at their least energy level, known as the vacuum state, they are as yet dynamic. Particles can show up and vanish inside these fields, briefly acquiring energy prior to returning. At this peculiarity produces virtual particles, elements that momentarily exist and afterward evaporate, leaving just a weak hint of their presence. The presence of virtual particles challenges the chance of a genuine void. Envision in a vacant universe where all matter, radiation, and energy are eliminated. Would you don't genuinely have anything? As per quantum field hypothesis, you wouldn't. Fields would stay dynamic in some cases, making trans and particles is steady action, and the thing ought to not be anything proposes that the universe doesn't stick to.